Hello Pumpkin Patch and welcome back to Days of Halloween. I'm Jessica Moser from the Fall Horsemen and I am excited to bring you my selections for the 4 movies for October 28th. If you're here and you've enjoyed our video so far, please click or treat. That means like, share, and subscribe. Stalk us on all the social medias. And thanks so much for joining me. My selection for the classic horror movie of the day is, I don't know if you can guess, just based on my shirt and lovely, wonderful poster behind me, is the 1978 classic film Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is not just a classic horror movie, not just a classic movie for Halloween, but a classic movie if you enjoy any kind of film. Written and directed by George A. Romero, Dawn of the Dead contains the social commentary that George A. Romero is known for. It also has zombies. It's the second in the Of the Dead series that he did. It's just an overall amazing piece of film. I cannot highly enough recommend this video, and I cannot tell you how many hours of my life I've spent trying to convince my coworkers or friends who weren't into horror to watch this movie, because if you enjoy film, if you enjoy a good quality piece of art, then you will enjoy this movie. This movie stars David Emge, Galen Ross, Scott Renninger, and of course, the immortal Ken Foree. Ken Foree plays Peter Washington. Peter Washington's character really displays the gravity of having to kill a zombie that used to be a human being. You can tell in this movie how much he feels that, especially if it's someone who he perhaps knew before. Also, Tom Savini did the makeup for this movie. He was supposed to do the makeup for Night of the Living Dead, but he got drafted into the Vietnam War, so he couldn't. Of course, this movie was filmed in Pittsburgh, where George A. Romero was from, and mostly in the Monroeville Mall. The Monroeville Mall is the inspiration for this movie being written in the first place. George A. Romero took a tour of the Monroeville Mall in 1974. The mall manager showed him a lot of the hidden parts of the mall and said to him that it would be a good place to write out an emergency. And that's really what started Romero's wheels turning. I cannot recommend this movie highly enough. It is one of my favorite movies of all time, horror or otherwise. I just love it, and I think that you guys will love it too. If you haven't seen it, please do so. It's just really an amazing piece of art, and I can't say enough good things about it. I was so excited to talk to you guys about it today that I feel like I've done a very bad job because it means so much to me. So I hope you guys enjoy Dawn of the Dead. My selection for the overlooked horror movie is the 2006 Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. This movie is so much fun. It is in the vein of a classic slasher, but it just really has a fun comedic turn on it. It's written and directed by Scott Glosserman, and Nathan Basil plays the titular character Leslie Vernon. In the movie, Leslie Vernon is training to be a slasher. This movie is set in a universe where all the classic slasher movies actually took place. Becoming a slasher is something that you can aspire to. A documentary crew covers Leslie Vernon's strict training regimen, which includes cardio, but also theater techniques in order to create the perfect environment for a killing spree. This movie was filmed in Portland, and it's just a brilliant and funny performance, and Nathan Basil as Leslie Vernon is just spot on. There have been some rumors that there's going to be a sequel to this movie several times. I really hope it happens, and I really hope Nathan Basil comes back to play Leslie Vernon again, because he did such an amazing job. And again, this movie is just so much fun, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. I hope so. For my in-between pick of the day, I've chosen yet another classic, the 1984 Ghostbusters. Most of you guys have probably seen this movie, or you've seen the cartoon, or at least you've danced to Who You Gonna Call? Ghostbusters! What is not to love about Ghostbusters? I love the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I love Slimer. I love the comedy. There's some slapstick. There's some physical comedy. There's some seriousness. There's really nothing but things to like in here. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Annie Potts, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis, and of course, Ernie Hudson. I'm sure you guys know the plot of this movie already, so instead I'm going to tell you a story about Ernie Hudson, who I just adore because he's my favorite. I love his portrayal of Winston Zeddemore, and I just think that he is a wonderful human being. And when James and I went to DragonCon a few years ago, Ernie Hudson was there when we were going to meet Ernie Hudson at his autograph table. I told James then, I was like, all I want is to hug Ernie Hudson, but it's not appropriate for me to ask for that. And as soon as we got to his autograph table, table. He came out from behind the table in his Ghostbusters uniform and gave me a hug immediately. He's just such a good human being, and I just thought that was a fun story to add because I'm sure you guys know the plot of Ghostbusters already. For my kids' movie of the day, I've chosen the 2011 Disney film Spooky Buddies. Spooky Buddies came highly recommended to me by my nephew, Nathaniel Jones, who knew that I loved Halloween and saw Spooky Buddies and immediately thought of me and thought that he needed to tell me right away how much he enjoyed this film and how much he thought I would enjoy it too. This movie is one in the series of the Buddies movies that Disney does. In this movie, the Buddies go to the manor of Warwick the Warlock on a field trip. The rumor is if you say Halloween Hound 3 times in the mirror, the Halloween Hound appears. So B-Dog, who's one of the buddies, is trying to prove that he can be braver. And so in order to do that, he says Halloween Hound in the mirror 3 times, and the Halloween Hound does appear, and the buddies have to work hard to get away from the Halloween Hound. Spoiler alert. One of the ways that they get away from the Halloween Hound is to fart a lot. Your kids might be making fart noises for a few days after watching this. Maybe longer than that. Maybe they already are. Anyway, I hope you'll enjoy this movie. It's a Disney film, very appropriate. Nathaniel recommended this movie to me when he was 4 years old, so it's appropriate even for younger children. Nathaniel also recommends Space Buddies, just if you're interested. And now for our haunt of the day, Spooky Woods in Kersey Valley, North Carolina. Spooky Woods has a series of haunted houses, and you walk through the woods, which is why it's called Spooky Woods, of course. There are some fun tricks and treats along the wooded paths as well. James and I really enjoyed going there. We've been there twice, and it was a great time both times we went. The second time we went to Spooky Woods, after we got out of the haunted house, we were commenting that our guns for the zombie shoot didn't work. The owner of Spooky Woods actually overheard us and personally took us back through the entire haunt. He just wanted us to have a good time, so I thought that was a really cool experience, and it was really nice to be able to see a little bit behind the scenes what was going on there. They are open. You want to check their website for tickets and their COVID-19 precautions and what they require. We've put a link down in the description below in order for you guys to do your research. Let us know down in the comments, have you been to Spooky Woods? Is it a place you'd like to go? Let me know your experience there. James and I had a great time all of the times we went. We found that there were some surprises on the tram on the way from one haunted house to another that were particularly enjoyable. Thanks for joining us, Pumpkin Patch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy my picks. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about my picks for today. And remember to click or treat, like, share, and subscribe, and stalk us on all the social medias. Thanks for riding with the Fall Horsemen, where Halloween lives and fall is forever. And happy Halloween! My selection for the 1978 displays and in between and no Horsemen and Nason, what am I trying to say? Are do a documentary crew. It is, what can I say? What can I? To be in Greensboro, North Carolina. Maybe. I don't know. Have you guys seen this movie? Maybe. Just to, this is one, let me turn it down the, Disney, for the, we've put a, well, you're gonna drink water. I'm sure there'll be tons for you to, my selection